KWT slaying.
Salama family, Salama, how y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. If I sound okay, give me a 1. Do I sound okay? All right. So, prophetic wise, there's a lot of things occurring, as you saw from the last video I did. And part of me excited. I know we're not getting out without a fight, but this whole thing is just sort of strange. It's sort of strange. So we have some interesting times. And what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna put the link out there because I want to get you all comment on some things. And but before that, I want to share a few scriptures. Isaiah 11:12, he will raise a banner for the nations and gather the exiles of Israel. He will assemble the scattered people of Judah from the 4 quarters of the earth. This is what we call the second Exodus. I personally believe it is very near. Is it a year away, 2 away, 3? I don't know. I believe it is very near. However you want to deal with that. But the second Exodus is based upon these types of scriptures. Now, we're coming from the 4 winds. There's a lot being said here, and I'm not doing a whole study on this, but we're coming from the 4 quarters of the earth or coming from the 4 winds. Why do I say the 4 winds? Well, Ezekiel 37, verse 9. Ezekiel 37, verse 9. Then he said to me, prophesy to the breath, prophesy, son of man, and say to it, this is what Yahuwah says. Come, breathe from the 4 winds and breathe into these slain that they may live. Now, as I was showing you in Isaiah 11:12, we're coming from the 4 quarters of the earth. Who's coming from the 4 quarters? It's the ones who were scattered. Come, breathe from the 4 winds. That's from the 4 quarters, from the 4 corners of the earth, or the 4 quarters. Come, breathe from the 4 winds and breathe into these slain that they may live. I make the case, this is my opinion, eat the meat, spit out the bones, that the breath, the life that is given to Israel, or can we say Africa or sub-Saharan Africa, which I believe to be Israel, is us. Isaiah 11 says, come from the 4 quarters or the 4 corners. Ezekiel 37 verse 9 says, come breathe, give them life. Because we're talking about These dead bones, them bone, them dry bone, them bone, them dry bone, them dry bone. Now heed the words of the Lord. We're talking about the life coming back, the scattered coming back. So when we go back, we bring life to the body. The ones who were taken from the continent as slaves, scattered amongst the nations, when we return, this is when Africa truly prospers. This is when Africa gets life again. This is when Africa turns back to Yahuwah. When we return, them dry bones is given life. So right now, what we're seeing today is rattling, shaking, rattling, and rolling. Shake, rattle, and roll. That's what we hear. Y'all know that. Some of y'all. I'm old. Y'all know that. Elvis. Shake, rattle, and roll. That's what we're hearing. Shaking, rattling of the dry bones. And we see that. We talked about that in the last show. And so if we see bone to bone, we see flesh to flesh, sinew to sinew. This is what we're seeing today on the continent. Now, I find it very interesting that those who claim to be Israel are super asleep, waiting for the Middle East to take off, waiting for that desert to come to life, waiting for the Ish people to be swept out of our land, while prophecy happening right before your eyes. I'm going to put that link out there because we're going to talk about some things and we're going to comment on some things and get some of y'all opinion on it. I'm of the opinion, like I said, I'm of the opinion we getting out of here soon. I mean, everything I see, prophecy coming to pass, and I laugh at those who can't see it. I really do. I laugh at those who can't see it. Something wrong with them. Something wrong with them. Hey, Sister Chantel, how you doing? Say hi to the family.
Hey family, how is everybody this evening?
I can't hear you.
Oh my goodness, can you hear me now?
You're super low.
I've got everything on loud and everything. Can everybody hear me?
You're super low. Unless it's my hearing, I don't know. Can y'all hear her? If you can
just
hear
put
her,
it out there
give me a
that you're
1. If you
old.
can't, give me a 2. Brother Carrots. You there, Carrots?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I hear you. So it's you, Sister Chantel. It's not me. She sound low to you, right, Carrots?
I can't hear her.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Super low.
Yeah, you're hiding in the closet talking.
Well, maybe you lot are just old. you,
I
you
am
just
old.
said it.
I am old. I know my hearing going, but it ain't that low
She's
yet.
speaking from a corner.
I'm hiding.
like,
Things are
like
getting
she's in
hot.
timeout.
Things are getting crazy. I'm hiding, man. Anyway, I'm gonna try to change my phone and we'll see. I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Brother Mike. Say hi to family, Brother Mike. Brother Mike.
Shalom, family. Shalom.
Now, Brother Mike sound like he in the
Let me tell you
closet.
something on this thing real
Hiding
quick.
in the closet.
He's shouting from the other end of a hall. That's what
Brother Mike sound he in the closet.
Brother Mike. I'm gonna mute you for a sec. I hear nothing but fire engines.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, brother. It went to my my headphones.
Oh, okay.
Shalom. How you all doing, brothers?
All right. Now that's the Mike I know right there.
Hey, what's going on, brothers?
What's up, Mike?
I can't call it brother. Just seeing some wonderful things happening in this world. And you just answered a question I was about to ask you. You just answered the question.
You see how I read your mind? See, I'm good like that.
I got you, brother. I appreciate it too.
All right. Eric, how's it going? Say hi to fam. You have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself, Eric. Eric, going once, going twice. I'm gonna put you in the back, brother Eric, and you can let me know when you're ready in the private chat. Sister Chantel.
I'm back.
There she goes. Now there you go. You sound real good now.
Yeah, I'm on the other phone, so my icon is all different and everything.
Oh, you got the sexy icon right now. I see that.
Hey,
The warrior woman.
I will cut you.
you and my wife, y'all like them knives too much.
I like swords. I like sharp things. I'm not going to hide that. I do like sharp things.
I get threatened all the time. I'm gonna cut you. I'm gonna cut you.
How is everybody today, man? Things are going crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a good crazy though.
Yeah.
I just sent you something in Messenger, Yakoba. My mom sent me something about some mosquito that has a serial number.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got bit this morning. I went outside, tried to get some sun.
I got beat a few weeks ago, actually. It was massive. And then I started feeling a little sick, so.
Yeah. Kalisha, say hi to fam.
Shalom, greetings, family. Hi.
All right.
Sister.
Good evening.
Sister Betty.
Shalom, family. How are y'all?
We blessed. How you doing, Sister Betty?
I can't complain, Minister Yakoba. I just want to let you know, and I know we on live, but I still got to make sure you know that now Arthur's leaving soon, and I'm going to, and I told you in a message that you're going to be my neighbor, Yakoba. I'm going to see your face.
Y'all going permanently right now? Soon? What?
He's going permanently.
Oh, really?
Right now.
Well,
Yes.
I tell you one thing, the way things going, everybody gonna be looking for your number, Sister Betty. You better be ducking.
And you better not be giving it nobody. I'm just telling just telling you now you're gonna have your spot next door to me, and we're gonna build a ministry down there.
Sounds good to me.
So
let me
I
see.
don't know what the conversation is today, but I just jumped on and I just appreciate it so much, and I'll talk to y'all when it come back around to me.
All right, so we're gonna listen to a few videos and we're gonna get comments on it. Eric, how's it going? Say hi to fam. You have to unmute yourself. There you go. And we're gonna get comments on it. Eric, how's it going? Say hi to fam.
Shalom, Israel. Can you hear me?
Sound good.
Blessings, Brother Yakoba. Good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks for coming on. So
Shalom.
I'm gonna share some videos right now, and we're gonna come back here and we're gonna get some commentary.
It's conscious, but we cannot, and the world should not pretend that the present-day economic and social conditions of Africa have nothing to do with the historical injustices that have fashioned the structures of the world. It is time to acknowledge openly that much of Europe and the United States have been built from the vast wealth harvested from the sweat, tears, blood, and horrors of the transatlantic slave trade and the centuries of colonial exploitation. Maybe we should also admit that it cannot be easy to build confident and prosperous societies from nations that for centuries have their natural resources looted and their peoples traded as commodities. For centuries, the world has been unwilling and unable to confront the realities of the consequences of the slave trade. But gradually, this is changing, and it is time to bring the subject of reparations firmly to the fore. Granted, the current generations are not the ones that engaged in the slave trade, but that grand inhuman enterprise was state-sponsored and deliberate, and its benefits are clearly interwoven with the present-day economic architecture of the nations that designed and executed it. Reparations must be paid for the slave trade. No amount of money will ever make up for the horrors, but it would make the point that evil was perpetrated, that millions of productive Africans were snatched from the embrace of our continent and put to work in the Americas and the Caribbean without compensation for their labor. If there are any hesitations in some minds about the paying of reparations, it is worth considering the fact that when slavery was abolished, the slave owners were compensated for the loss of the slaves because the human beings were labeled as property, deemed to be commodities. Surely, this is a matter that the world must confront and can no longer ignore. The African Union has authorized Ghana to hold a global conference on the issue in November in Accra. It is probably also the time to return to that vexed subject of illicit financial outflows out of the continent of Africa.
All right, so he's talking about, they need to pay us back reparations. I thought he said before that the AU was going to have that meeting in October. Maybe they pushed it back to November. But there's a lot of stuff happening at this UN thing. We're gonna listen to some other presidents what they're saying, how things on the continent is no longer the standard operating procedure. Things have changed. Hashtag ain't no 400-year prophecy. Any comments?
I'm gonna say this. This was something I this morning I showed the president of Guinea, and I think you'll probably show him too. But so I won't.
Yeah, I got him. He coming up.
Yeah, but it's funny because I'm just gonna say in terms of what we see and how everything is globally aligning. You have the East versus the West. You have the East that's wanting to be hand in hand as a partner with Africa, and we know the ulterior motives, but you also have a West that's trying to continue to do status quo and utilize, still colonialization efforts and techniques, which you have in the West that the West is still gung-ho for, and you now have African leaders actually saying no. They're actually standing up. This is a time that we wouldn't have seen this, honestly, 3 or 4 years ago, seeing what's happening in the UN. It's like, brother, do you know that you have to be on a flight? We praying for, you praying for your travels. Pray for these folks' travels because they're giving the West the business. I've never seen this before. It's an exciting time because now it's like, well, now you're telling white folks that they really have no power. I wonder what white folks are going to do now because they're really figuring out they ain't got no power. And I think that this is honestly, they're telling them, go and try and come on into Niger and see what you're going to get. Come through. Pull up. They don't want that business that Africa's about to give them.
And how much pushback and heat we got, Karis, over the years. I'm just saying, I don't know if anything gonna happen. They making up stuff. But anyway, who's next? Brother Mike.
I see it like this, brother. I noticed one thing here in the United States. They do not post those videos.
That's true.
They do not post these videos, not even on the evening news and nothing. And I know why. It's just like what Kara said. They know they have lost their power. They lost it. Now, if they play the videos, I mean, what? They gonna know what's going on. And I mean, it's a beautiful thing, brother. I'm serious. And I mean, me and Karis was talking about this. Let them go in there. Let friends go in there and make a fool out of themselves. They go really truly see how weak, how vulnerable they are. They go give them the business. And at the same time, Judah is standing by watching, still watching already. And that's the beauty of it, bro. We're standing back watching and still talking, preaching, and encouraging. Because the question I had was, they saying that the brothers there in Africa are tired of it. But I mean, I know we're the one who's saying this is Yah who's putting things in motion. And I'm glad you said that, because now when you said that about Judah going back and exposing everything, hey, now I understand. Now it will be Judah who's going to explain, all right, this is the reason why things move the way it moved. And that's the beauty of it, brother. And I rest there.
Sister Chantel.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, there is so much that is going on. It's like my head is spinning. I've literally just seen, the leader of the Labour party over here was in Paris with secret meetings with Macron. And I'm starting to wonder why. What's going on? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? It's just crazy. All these people are coming together and they're having these backroom meetings, and I know that it has everything to do with us and with our family on the continent. It's like they don't know what to do. They're completely dumbfounded as to what their next steps are going to be. Because for the most part, they have been using the same old tired playbook, but it was working for quite a while, but now it's not working anymore. Now it's like they are completely clueless as to what move to make. I mean, I remember that I think it was last week they sent a warship from here to Nigeria, and I'm like, why? What are you going to do? And then you got people who are freaking out over here because they know they're about to get cut off, because they know Africa is like, yeah, we don't want anything to do with Britain. And at the same time, you've got, people who are crying out saying, we've all seen that that man saying, please, we need to join the BRICS. It's like just the same way how Macron wants to join the BRICS, but it's like you guys want to join while holding most of the nations hostage, holding their resources hostage, but you think you get to join their club when they are part of this club to get away from you. It's like the stalker. It's a really bad relationship. An oppressive, a very abusive relationship, and it's like they just don't understand the word no and go away. So I don't know. This is just all. It's an exciting time. It really is an exciting time, but it's like there is so much going on there. It's like you don't know what to pull from. Like, what are we going to talk about today? Oh, but this is going on, and that is going on, and that's happening over there. There's so much going on. I'm stumped. In case you didn't know, I'm actually lost for words. Not really, but
I don't think that will ever happen, Sister Chantel.
No, never. If I stop talking, then something's really wrong.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna get a word from Kalisha, and then I'm gonna show another video, and then we're gonna come back to the rest of you all and get comments. You can comment on any video you want. but we're gonna move like that. Kalisha.
Greetings, shalom, everybody. I'm so excited. I really am so excited. And I'm excited because it's so close. Like, I know people are saying in the chat, but I know we're feeling it in the spirit. Like, because I keep getting woken up in the midnight hours. I just keep getting this peace in my spirit that, and even though my flesh is feeling fatigued because I'm over it. I was watching a video about somebody who had moved to Africa, and literally they were saying they moved spiritually, mentally before they physically got to settle on African soil. And I know a lot of you can relate to that. Like, you just feel physically, mentally over this Babylon system and country. And just seeing these videos that you're sharing, your brother Yakoba, it just heightens that sense of excitement as well. But my response is going to be this scripture that I was woken up in the middle of the night with, and I just think it summarizes it perfectly. Just to stand firm on Yah's word and be encouraged in this time, because a lot of excitement is brewing, but there's also the enemy is really trying to fatigue his people and unrest us. But just remember to keep our eyes focused on him. So it's from Psalms 111, and it says, "Praise ye Yahuwah. I will praise Yahuwah with my whole heart in the assembly of the upright and in the congregation. The works of Yahuwah are great, sought out of them that have pleasure therein. His work is honorable and glorious, and his righteousness endureth forever. He hath made his wonderful works to be remembered. Yahuwah is gracious and full of compassion. He hath given meat unto them that fear him. He will ever be mindful of his covenant. He hath showed his people the power of his works, that he may give them the heritage of the heathen. Hallelujah. The works of his hands are verity and judgment. All his commandments are sure. They stand fast forever and ever, and are done in truth and uprightness. He sent redemption unto his people. He hath commanded his covenant forever. Holy and reverend is his name. The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. So let's just remember who we serve. Let's not forget his promises. Let's know we are so close. Hallelujah.
Amen. So I'm gonna share this other video. Then when we come back, I'm gonna start with Sister Betty and get the rest at the bottom.
That we find 17 of them in Africa. Africa is least responsible for the climate damage that has been caused, and yet it bears the greatest burden. Centuries after the end of the slave trade, decades after the end of the colonial exploitation of Africa's resources, the people of our continent are once again bearing the cost of industrialization of the North and the development of the wealthy nations of the world. This is a price that the people of Africa are no longer prepared to pay. Many countries in the North count their assets in the mineral resources that are beneath the African soil. The wealth of Africa belongs to Africans. The mineral wealth that is beneath the soil of Africa must, in the end, accrue to Africans. We urge global leaders to accelerate the global decarbonization while pursuing equality and shared prosperity. We need to advance all three pillars of the Paris Agreement: mitigation, adaptation, and support.
So President Ruto says that they're not giving their resources over no more. The resources are going to stay on the continent. We've heard them say before that they're going to build products or add value to any resources before it leaves the continent. Things have changed, and there's nothing they can do about it. I mean, this seems to be in unison. Sister Betty.
Just bear with me for a minute, Jacoba family. Listen. Genesis 15 and 13. # there's no 400 years. But it's
Now you
already
beat me to it.
it's already been prophesied. It's all, and now you act like you cannot see it. And I'm going to say this too right quick. You coming up on the wickedest time of American history. This wickedest time is called Election Day. Selection Day. Who's already been selected. Our people will be running to the polls to vote for a demonic oppressor. Joe Biden's family, his great-great-grandparents, his bloodline is so deeply rooted in the wickedest trade of all the earth's history, the transatlantic slave trade. We run to the polls in November to vote for these demons who ain't never did nothing for you. Judah, when will you wake up? When will you? And now one of these 46, 7 demons ever did nothing for you. And you continue to run to the poll and put on their shirts and wear their flags to vote. Why are you going down there to vote? And another thing, my third point is, Judah, the tribe of Judah, us, that was taken on the Atlantic slave trade, we are the golden commodity from the continent. We are that gold that was liquidated out of the continent. We are the gold, the diamond, the titanium. We are all the precious metals that they liquidated out of the continent. Imagine if us, creative people, intelligent people, was allowed to thrive on our own continent, where would the continent of Africa be? So it's just not the gold that they're digging up or the diamonds that they're digging up now in these days. No, the precious, precious, precious skin, blood, and DNA that was taken out of the continent. It is us. We are the precious metal. We are the precious blood. It is us. And I'll stop there.
All right. Brother Eric.
Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom, shalom. First of all, much respect to the panel and the channel. Family, I'm telling you, boy, I'm excited. I'm excited. We've been hearing about this since we were kids. The last days, the last days, the last days. We're actually living it. There's only somebody that's willfully ignorant that can't see everything that's going on, and that our book is true. Now, in terms of what's going on the continent, far as I'm concerned, the bones ain't just rattling, The bones is standing up and moving. When have you ever seen Africa stick together like they sticking together just now? We've never seen it in our lifetime. We seen them march during apartheid and then what's his name become president? What his name? Mandela. But we never seen nothing like this we see just now. I'm telling you, family, I don't know how long. I don't know what's soon. I don't know what's late. Everything relative. But I'm telling you, we leaving this place and we're going to spoil these people like we spoiled our ancestors spoiled the Egyptians.
Say that again, Brother Eric.
We're going to spoil them. They're going to be begging. They're going to throw them things to us. And then they want to grab onto us and take us with you. No, you can't go.
I just said that very same thing this morning to a friend of mine. I literally said, we're going to spoil them just the same way our ancestors spoiled the Egyptians. Yep. They're going to be begging, throwing money at us. Please take us with you. We'll give you all our diamonds, our gold. Do you not think some of us don't seem to realize when it says things like they're kings and they're rulers, it doesn't necessarily mean talking about politicians. We're talking about celebrities here. We're talking about the high princes of them. These people are terrified. They they will do anything they can to literally leave, and they know they listen. These people, you know what? I'm talking because this
Yeah.
ain't even my. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll
I
come back
told
to
you.
you, Sister
I told
J.
you. I don't talk a lot. I don't talk a lot. So you know, but you know, that's just me.
Now
All
we
right.
need all this confirmation. We need all this confirmation. We have to keep encouraging each other because some will fall by the wayside because let the slightest thing don't work out the way we think it's gonna work out. And people want to fall back and say, oh, it's not happening. Listen, let the Most High do his thing. Just get your popcorn. I like extra butter on mine.
Me too.
You understand? Just sit back and watch and stay away from these Gentiles. Every time we mix with these people, we become the 6 o'clock news. For some kind of
Mhm.
stay away from them. Don't hang
Lightning
on your head.
strikes.
The guilty will not go unpunished. If you found with these people, what's going to happen to them is going to happen to you. Listen, the Most High always wanted us to be amongst ourselves. He always wanted us to be amongst ourselves. We had everything we ever needed. We don't need them people. That on the continent have all the resources. You know it's the promised land. How you know? Because everybody over flowing with milk and honey. Because everybody over there trying to suck up all the resources.
Like I say, ain't nobody trying to take that little dirt in the Middle East.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought it was there. I thought it was there. Huh?
It's so ridiculous. You explain how a people like the stars of heaven, like the sand of the sea, is going to be sustained in that little sliver of land. It's a lie from the pit of hell. And that's all them people ever do is lie. I say the bones ain't just rattling. The bones is moving. The bones got sinews on them. It got skin on them. And
Right now, I guess it's the Walking Dead, huh? Because the spirit ain't in it yet.
No, but
yeah.
But if they led by the Most High to stand up to these colonizers, you have to account for that. When have you ever seen them stand up to these colonizers like you see just now? We've never seen it.
Yep.
So
all right. I'm gonna move on, Brother Eric. Come back around. Don Pete.
Hey, Shalom.
What's up, Don?
Hey,
how's it going?
I'm doing beautiful, man. I'm doing beautiful. I almost want to start a show called Africa This Week. It has been a crazy, beautiful week this week. The leader of Niger told France that they'll sell them uranium for $200 a gram. And they wasn't going to be doing that 80 cents no more. And then I put out a story about a UN armored vehicle that got overturned in the Congo. And guess what they found inside?
Gold.
Gold.
Gold. And so I just saw this morning that the president of the DRC told the UN, get out. Get out. So wow, man, it's everything is happening. These people here are losing their minds, and it's only going to get worse. But we're getting up out of here, man, before the hits the fan. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't trying to be a partaker in their plague. So yeah, I'll land my plane there.
All right, Judah J.
All right, shalom, family. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going?
Oh man, I'm working right now. I'm just trying to get this bag so I can hopefully get to Africa at some point. But anyways, man, yeah. So the scriptures that I've been really paying attention to is when they say Jerusalem shall be trodden down. In the last days, they shall be trodden down by the Gentiles. And I think I saw a video where you were talking about maybe Jerusalem is not always land, because I'm one of those people also that does not believe that that land, the slipper land, is the true Israel, because of course you can't house all the giants, you couldn't have housed all the tribes, you couldn't do anything in that slipper land that they're claiming as our land. And so that scripture is more relevant to me in another sense, in another context, because there's many places in the Bible where it talks about the children of Israel, and where it talks about the land. And you may think, oh, well, they're talking about the land, but they're actually talking about the people. And so the Gentiles are trotting us down, but since that's not our land, and there are Gentiles over there, and I'm one of those people that really don't think they're completely human in the first place. But I think they have mixture of DNA's fallen angel seed. There may be Neanderthals, which is not completely human. And so, I mean, anyways, not trying to get off topic, but I don't even know if they are Gentiles. I don't even know if I'm not saying everyone, but pale faced people, I don't even know if they qualify as being Gentiles, because Gentiles are human beings. Regardless, Esau was a human, and he had children that did mate with fallen angels through the seed of Zepho and Adah, and there's other lines, but they were not completely human. They had fallen angel seed. So do we call them Gentiles? And I never really understood that. I'm not trying to get off topic, but it says that land shall Jerusalem be trodden down by the Gentiles. And I'm looking at our state. Of course, we have been trodden down by the Gentiles. And now, due to my studies and study to be approved, Gentiles, it says Jerusalem, it could be us. Like it talks about us as being Jerusalem, not just the land. It's Jerusalem. Now we know that our people are also in Africa. So when the 400 years expired, a lot of us may think that this prophecy is just for us in America. It's just for Judah, but it's not. I think there's an awakening that's happening right now all over the world with our people. You're seeing the blinders come off their eyes. You're seeing the spell being taken off. So now you got these Africans realizing the resources and the minerals and all these goods they have in their land. And you would have never thought this could have happened 5-10 years ago, because it couldn't have happened because it wasn't time yet. But now that it's time, it's like when you talk about in your videos about Order 66 Star Wars, how that signal was snapped, and then all of a sudden those stormtroopers turned against the Jedi. Now it's like the signal, I believe in heaven, in the Most High, he has either blown a trumpet or something. But I think there's been a signal that has been let off that he is sounding, that is now awakening our people. And also, this is what I think is the last thing I'll say. I think the world is getting ready to recognize that we are the children of Israel. And I don't know how it's going to happen, but I think it's going to be spiritual. It's not going to be something where, like, I make videos all the time talking about the target individual phenomenon, and I'm one of these people that believe I'm one of these target individuals. And everything we go through is spiritual. Nothing makes sense. People are operating in the spirit when you come around them, and then all of a sudden their whole countenance change. Their communication, they know things they shouldn't know. They're operating in familiar spirits. They're talking about things in their life they can't know, and a myriad of other things. And so, because of my life and my experience, I know that this thing is spiritual. We are human beings, physical, spiritual beings operating in a physical in a body. And so, what I'm thinking is when they come out, all these things have happened to us. They know that we are the children of Israel. Now they're just lying, they're gaslighting, but they know. But they would not, and even though we struggle and we go through all these hardships, they will never come out and say we're the children of Israel. So it's going to take some sort of supernatural, spiritual phenomenon that God just puts on them. That okay, you know what? Either it's either the plagues that He sends down. It's either when the judgment, as the plagues start to ramping up. It's either these plagues that are going to just start to just blanket them to where they're like, we always knew it was you guys, but this is now getting out of hand. Okay, get out of here. It's something like that. But
what is it going to take, Judah? Because they've been getting hit with hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, pestilence.
You know what? This is what I was thinking the other day. What it is going to take is their power turning on them. And what I mean by that is when they're already trying to telegraph these UFOs coming, and how they're gonna, it's there for them. So they're secretly working in cahoots with the not aliens, with the fallen angels and all these demons and all these things. I think once they realize they made the gravest mistake of their life, and they start to turn against them, then the knowledge that they already know about us as being the children of Israel and how God is the only way out. Maybe that is the thing. I don't know. I just something I got that in my mind. Not what is going to change these people. They've seen it all. They know who we are now. There's
Yeah, I
no
agree.
ambiguity. There's no lie. There's
Yep.
nothing. So anyway, blessings to you, man. I love your channel. I love you. I love the family. I got to go back to work, but all praise to the Most High Yah. You should my shout name. Shalom.
All right, thanks, Judah. All right, so I'm gonna play another video, then I'm gonna come back to you, D84, right after that video.
This is not an exhaustive list, but we believe that the transitions underway in Africa are due to several factors, including broken promises, the lethargy of the people, and leaders tampering with constitutions with the sole concern of remaining in power to the detriment of collective well-being. Today, the African people are more awake than ever and more than ever determined to take their destiny into their own hands. The unequal distribution of wealth creates endless inequalities, famine, and abject poverty, which make the daily lives of our populations increasingly difficult. These inequalities are part of the causes for the events that endanger our peaceful coexistence above all. When the wealth of a country is in the hands of an elite, while newborns die in hospitals due to a lack of incubators, it is not surprising that in such conditions we are seeing transitions in order to respond to the profound aspirations of the people. Africa, ladies and gentlemen, is suffering from a governance model that has been imposed on it. A model that is certainly good and effective for the West, which developed it over the course of its history, but which is difficult to incorporate and adapt to our realities, our customs, and our environment. Alas, I have to say that the graft did not take. I know that when I say this, many will immediately say to themselves, oh, another warmonger who wants to wring the neck of democracy, or another soldier who wants to impose his dictatorship. However, I want to say very clearly, without hypocrisy, without pretense, eye to eye, we're all aware that this democratic model that you have so insidiously, skillfully imposed on us after the La Baule summit in France, something you've been imposing almost religiously. This model does not work. Various economic and social indices demonstrate this plain and clear. This is not a value judgment on democracy itself. Believe me, this is just taking stock of the situation. It's a balance sheet. Over several decades of chaotic experimentation with this model in our environment, we can make this observation. This was a period full of nothing but political games. And this, of course, has been to the detriment of what is essential, namely the economy. and the local processing of our natural resources. Allow me to take this truth exercise a little further. Through my short but very intense experience of managing a state, Guinea, I have come to better understand the extent to which this model has, above all, contributed to maintaining a system of exploitation and plunder of our resources by others, and a rampant corruption of our elites. National leaders who have often been granted democratic labels based on their acquiescence or their capacity for selling off the resources and the property of their people, or perhaps their ease in giving in to the pseudo recommendations and injunctions of the great powers. I must confess in this regard that everything that I am facing goes beyond all imagination. These are the same people who profess democracy, transparency, who denounce poor governance and corruption, who dictate the rules. It is they who, behind the scenes, very discreetly and underhandedly, are increasing pressure to make us cede our national wealth through unconscionable leonine contracts. I understand certain leaders and some of my predecessors who, because they possess certain weaknesses, because they were under pressure, or because they had skeletons in their closets, or particularly because they had a political agenda, gave in to what was being asked of them. I understand them, even if I do not approve. In some cases, I was even reminded that if I had a political agenda, I would be less comfortable carrying out the reforms that my government and I are tackling. One thing is certain. We have but one concern, and that is the well-being of the people and living together. This is our priority. This is why the transition I lead has chosen to focus methodically on clear objectives in a precise order: the social, the economic, and the political.
All right, I'm gonna leave it right there. We're gonna go to D84.
Hi, Yakoba. Hi, family. Hope everyone is well. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Right, I just want to begin by saying it's very interesting, this topic. It really is interesting. You guys are over in America. I'm here in England. One of the things that really stirred me to come on the show this evening, because earlier today, I'd seen the full clip. I'd only seen a short excerpt. I think it was either yesterday or the day before, of the president of Guyana, which is an island in the Caribbean. I believe his name is Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. He was on a show, a breakfast show that we have here in England called Good Morning Britain. And he was discussing reparations and the need for why it's essential for it to be applied, especially to the island of Guyana. He was talking with regards to the exploitation that his own island has experienced, but as we all know, there's a wider conversation to be had in that area. But what I find interesting, Yakoba, is whilst there are African leaders at the UN speaking about reparations, You have a leader from the Caribbean who is speaking of reparations. And I myself, who's a citizen of this country, and the grandson of a woman who was born in Carriacou, a small island next to Grenada. I am looking at this in the country of England, and it very much reminds me of the idea of the bones being joined up together again, because as we know, we were scattered far and wide. What I have to really highlight as well, Yakoba, is that when you listen to this interview with the president from, or the prime minister from Guyana speaking on this breakfast show, the attitude of, there's a male presenter and there's a woman presenter as well. The male presenter, his attitude is one of almost attempting to almost dismiss the seriousness of what's actually happened. And his argument initially was, well, why should someone who in the age of 2023 or in the year of 2023 have to be almost punished financially for what their ancestors did many years ago? And the response of the Guyanese president or prime minister was very acute and very significant in saying that Britain and many of those other Western countries have been, well, you know, the host of the Good Morning Show said, why should people over in this side of the world have to carry the burden? And the president of Guyana said, it's not a burden. He says, it's not a burden that you have to carry. He says that you have been a prime beneficiary, which is completely different, as he explains that it's of the indignity and the humiliation and the sufferation of those people from the transatlantic slave trade. It's because of their exploitation, many of these countries in the West have been able to have a head start, to have a way of financially sustaining themselves and be leaders in the world, whilst many of these other countries who are exploited have been effectively left behind. So it's for that reason why it's very plain and simple. Those who have benefited in such a fashion of something which is so unjust, of course there has to be a form of reparation and compensation if we are to live in a world that is fair, in a world that is humane, in a world that is governed by the laws of justice and what is morally right, in contrast to what is morally wrong. So what I wanted to say, Yakoba, is that after looking at the, you know, what I find really interesting, when you watch this clip, you realize that the host of this show, and I've seen it in American shows as well, when people in America, and with all due respect, Caucasian presenters are faced with the injustices or the criminality or the criminal behavior of their own country. When it's presented to them, there's this attitude, and I will call it a shared attitude, which I've seen in the presenters of the Good Morning Show Britain over here, where their attitude is to be either dismissive or to move on to the next point, or to try to ignore what was said, or to almost attempt that there is no wrongdoing that's been done, and there's a lack of remorse, Yakoba. There's a lack of remorse.
I agree.
And that's what's very disturbing for me when I see this. So I'm a very calm person. I try to practice peace and, you know, try my best not to be, you know, flustered in any kind of way. But when I watch this, I could slowly feel my blood boiling, because I realized that the response of the presenters over here was one of like, well, what do you think we should have to pay them? What do you think the taxpayers in this country should have to pay them?
Minimum $10 million a person, minimum.
Well, Yakoba, the Guyanese president said these numbers go into billions. That's what he said. These numbers go into billions. So
it goes into trillions. But
of course, yeah.
If I had anything to say with it, everybody gonna be multi-millionaire.
Well, of course, this is a massive injustice. It's a massive, massive. And can I just say as well, Yakoba, one thing I've realized in the world, which I find very almost, it's very fascinating that once upon a time there was a way of the world where it was dog eat dog. It was, it was a time of pillage and conquering. However, I find it very ironic that after these Western powers had things like the Berlin Conference and the First World War and the Second World War, if I remember correctly, I'm not sure if I heard it on your show or I heard it somewhere else. I do believe the reason why World War War started was because there was arguments from the West over how they would divide Africa. And that was one of the main reasons why World War One actually started. What I want to highlight is that I think it's very ironic how all of a sudden, after these Western powers shape the world in the way how they wish to shape the world, off the back of their barbaric mentality and their attitudes and their behavior, all of a sudden they wish to come up with things like human rights and have a Human Rights Act. It's almost as if to say, right now we've actually got everything that we need. We need to make sure what we've done to everybody else should never actually be done to ourselves. So let's put it into law and let's have statutes and regulations under the name of this Human Rights Act. So these things can never be done to us. And let's pretend that we are the mouthpiece for morality.
Yeah.
And that is something, yeah.
That's just like the whole thing with the, like he was saying with democracy. He said democracy don't work for us, right? And I'm not a fan of democracy because I believe democracy is a tool of control, because through media they can control the people. By money they can put the candidate they want up front and control who gets in power. And so for me, I believe in the idea of a king right now.
Yes.
Whether or not you get a righteous king or unrighteous king, that's just the issue, right? But I don't believe in this democracy stuff.
Yes, no, I understand, because it's a title that can easily be used where it can also be pretty much defied and betrayed in practicality. It's easy to use this title and make it appear to the world that you are the mouthpiece for what is right.
Yeah.
However, when you actually look at what's happening in essence, there is someone who profits and who ends up being a beneficiary, just like the Guyanese president pointed out. And there's sadly people who end up coming off worse, who become exploited in the very same name of this very same democracy. Yakoba, can I just also very quickly point out?
I got to move on. We'll come back to you, D84.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
All right.
That's
okay.
Fine.
Second exit.
Thank you.
Got to unmute yourself. Second exit.
Okay, wait a minute. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I thought
Can you
you
hear
were
me?
the other second exodus. Yeah, hey, how you doing?
No. Hi, how are you? I've been waiting for this moment to finally get on. I love your show. I've even turned my mother on to it. I live in Los Angeles. She's in Chicago because that's originally where I'm from. But you're doing the wonderful work. And hello to Sister Betty and Chantel and everybody. I've learned pretty much all you guys' names. But anyway, let me get to my point. I am absolutely excited. I know these are some trying times that we're witnessing in the news and what's going on with the natural disasters, or some of them maybe even man-made. Either way, the Most High is allowing them to happen. I personally, as far as the reparations, I do believe we're going to get it. How that's going to happen, I have no idea. I got to be honest with some of the African leaders, like the president of Ghana. I really don't trust the dude.
I don't trust him either.
I don't trust him at all. I got to be very honest. I think he is doing, because see, let me just tell you this. Africa, in my opinion, will not rise to its full potential until we get back, until the diaspora gets back. And let me be even more specific. This is no hit nor punch towards anybody else in the diaspora, but I have to say that particularly those who they call the African Americans. And the reason being is because we have built literally a nation, and we have risen. If you just look at, you give us an opportunity, we take and we run with it. I myself work in the entertainment industry. Oh, let me turn on I'm in my car, so I got to make sure that it doesn't turn off on you. Anyway, and so we take advantage of the opportunities. A lot of us do. Some of us don't. But we have built things. We have built companies. I mean, we have it in us to build. And that's our history. As I've studied, we even built the Kingdom of the Congo. I mean, kingdoms of the Congo and Zimbabwe's and all these other countries on the continent. As far as the president, I believe he knows, okay, well, when the diaspora gets back, from all over the world, these are very skilled people and they could be a benefit to us. And it's true. However, when you study the history of some of these leaders, they're corrupt. They sold out their own people. Yet alone, they look at us. I think sometimes they may view us as competition to them, because we do know how to do certain things. And, I personally think it will rise to where it's supposed to be, because I do believe sub-Saharan Africa is a real Israel or true land of Canaan. But I think everything will full circle when we get there. And personally, maybe it's wishful thinking, but I think a lot is going to happen between now and even next year. If we're here another 2 years, I'm surprised, because the way things are going, a bomb may. I just don't feel it in my spirit. And it's a whole lot of things I would love to do and get accomplished right here in America, because let's face it, there are things that you can do and get done. But then at the same time, when I think about what's going on over there, and it's exciting to see the young people to rise up. And I even thought about this too, because is it true that 70% of the continent is 30 and under? It's a young continent. Am I correct, or am I off on my numbers?
I think it might be higher than that.
Yeah, it's probably higher.
Okay, well,
it's probably higher.
Oh, in terms of the percentage. Okay, so when you look at us, and I'm talking about all of us coming from Britain, America, the Caribbeans, when you look at our skill sets, whatever that may be it quote unquote blue collar, corporate, whatever, artistic, when you look at that, and if they're that young, those people are going to need some leadership. Not saying they don't have it now, but what I'm saying is it's really, it's like if you didn't have any children, you will have some children. A lot of young people to mentor and to help guide, and that may be a reason, prophetically in the sense too. Whereas us coming back, I think we're dealing with a young nation, not only our own within our own hemisphere or within our own group, but you're dealing with a lot of young people who are going to need help and guidance, and they are very skilled and talented. They know how to do things that we ain't never to do with, because they have to make do out of what they have.
They're gonna be teaching us how to farm and stuff while we teach them some of the
right, exactly. And so and I come from a family of farmers. My family's from the South, even though I was raised in the city all my life. But I have family from Mississippi.
You're in entertainment now, from the farm to entertainment.
So let me touch you. Now let me say this, because sometimes you be talking. I said, now everybody in the entertainment industry do not worship Satan. But I was like, okay, I'll hold my peace.
I'm just joking.
Well, but let me say this, and I'm gonna just let y'all know. I come from even when I had considered myself as a Christian, I was still working in the industry, but I still had a sense of standards that I just wasn't willing to compromise. And I'm still today. I turned down a lot of things. I have a commercial out that's running, but I turned down a lot of things that come my way. I see how the industry is, and when it comes to the casting, they pushing this whole interracial thing, and I ain't with it. Teach his own, but I have certain beliefs about that now. Now that I've learned a lot, and but when that whole thing with Kyrie and Kanye West happened, I have to be honest. I actually talked to Kanye like maybe a day or two after that happened, and in the thick of when it was all going on. I had a chance. I've talked to Kanye twice since all of that has happened. And the one thing I'm going to say, and this is what I want to say to all of us who believe in prayer and who do striving to live holy, striving to live righteous, to strive to keep the commandments and precepts and statutes and follow the laws of the Most High Yah, is to pray for those who aren't in the industry. And the reason being is because a lot of them, what I've learned by working with the Jewish people and being around them, a lot of our people, it's like you catch them when they're young and when they're desperate to get in.
Yeah.
And especially if somebody who's lived in poverty. And so now you throw all this money, and it's a lot of a lot of my friends who work in the industry, and I always say this, I wish I could get all the young girls and say, you ain't got to show all this, you ain't got to show nothing if you don't want to. You don't have to do that in order to make it. You don't have to look like everybody else in order to be out there. Just take a stand for once. And these people are rich because of us. They make more money. If you look at who's behind who's and who's doing what, it's kind of like you don't have, and I speak, sometimes I go to different high schools, performing arts, and I speak and I tell them, if this makes you don't do it. You don't have to sleep around. You don't have to be gay. You don't have to. It's a lot of stuff that I see that
I'm gonna have to move on, but
okay, that's fine.
Send me an email, because to be honest, I would like to have a conversation. Since you're in the entertainment industry, I would like to have a conversation about that.
Okay, love to, because I love to. I will. I'll send you. I definitely send you an email later on today. I'm out in the field right now, but yes, I will.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jamila.
Okay. Thanks.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I just wanted to confirm a lot of things that you've been saying about us being ready to leave. I actually had a dream last month. And in the dream, me and my kids, we were like walking and everything around us was darkness. And out of nowhere, the Spirit of the Most High basically started speaking through me in a dream. And the Spirit kept saying, he's coming quickly. We're leaving on ships. Get ready, get ready, get ready. He's coming quickly. It's like I just kept repeating it back to back to back, and I couldn't stop, and I was yelling it at the top of my lungs in the dream. And people were looking at me like I was crazy. But I remember kneeling down and getting my bags ready to go. And then I looked up and I saw destruction coming to Babylon. Yeah. But it was like destruction was coming that we were not going to be able to live in. And I remember it was like the Most High was showing me that because of the destruction that is coming, he has to remove us out of the place.
Yeah.
Because he's bringing this destruction and we were not going to be able to live in it. So I just wanted to confirm what you've been saying about us not having long, because in the dream, that's what he kept saying to me as I woke up. I mean, in my sleep, and I just woke up and I was telling my family about it. Of course, they didn't believe me, but he deals with me in dreams. So he just kept saying, I kept hearing him say through my spirit, man, that he's coming quickly. He's coming quickly. We're leaving on ships, and basically to get ready.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jamila. Kalisha, you had spoke already, right? Earlier.
I did. Thank you, Yakoba.
Okay. So I have another video I want to show, and I need to bring Brother Mike back because he had dropped off. Okay. I'll add Brother Mike. So Brother Mike could be first when we come back, and after that, I want Brother Karras to talk about the rapture, what the Gentiles doing. So after this video, we'll have Brother Mike and then Karras, and then we'll get final comments after that going around. All right.
Let me make it categorically clear that regardless of the circumstances, I do not think that military intervention offers a solution at this point in the evolution of our continent. Sure. There was a time when circumstances produced the notion that power flew out of the barrel of a gun. Those times are over, and we face completely different circumstances now. The critical problem confronting Africa is the economy. From north to south, east to west, and all the joiners in the center, the burden is the economy. It is how we ensure every citizen and every family has food on the table. It is how we create jobs for our young men and women so they can stay and serve their country. It is how we find resources to provide education and healthcare for our people. It is how we apply the intellectual gifts with which God has richly endowed us to improve the conditions we inherited. It is about how we mobilize the rich cultural resources for the good of our society. The state of our economies impinges on the security of our states. Sure. Poverty and unemployment, creating stability, represent both opportunities for the discordant voices. Sure. By thanking the St. Andrews Africa Summit, sure, and Master at the university for the kind invitation to deliver this distinguished keynote address. Sure. For this year's edition of St. Andrews Africa Summit. The last time I delivered such an address at the University of Cambridge, it coincided with the university overtaking its traditional Oxford rivals for the first spot in the university rankings.
All right. So basically, he's saying that military intervention is a no-no, right? And this is the lead of the Zulu. I believe he's African king of the Zulu. And, so we have people now who are saying, yeah, look, y'all can't come in here. Y'all can't kill our people. We're not going to have it. And things have changed on the continent. Obviously, I mean, we've never seen this type of opposition against the establishment, against the world order. Brother Mike, what's your thoughts on this stuff?
It's still the same, brother. I'm just ecstatic that all of this is happening in a matter of weeks, but it's been intensifying more so. And like I said, this
yeah,
to
Ashanti
Karras,
King.
and I
I'm
said,
sorry, Ashanti
yeah.
King.
I said to Chantel earlier this year, we were saying, hey, we go see what happened next week. Now, if you look at everything, this stuff been happening like daily and sometimes hourly. It just keep going. And with the sister second Exodus, now I'm built upon 2024. I seriously believe we gonna be up out here by 2024, brother. That's just me.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but that they like to beat me up when I try to speculate. But go ahead.
No, you good, brother. I mean, that's just me. 2024. I really want to hear what Karras got to say about the rapture too.
All right, brother Karras, unmute yourself. Karras must have walked away.
Man, Karras, he be sending emails like crazy, man. He have like 4 or 5 conversations going on, and he be on a live.
Yeah.
All
right. So while we wait for Brother Karras, I'm gonna show this one last video here.
Okay.
And, okay, he here. There we go. Brother Karras.
Sorry. I had to grab something real quick. Yeah, no.
You mean you gotta eat, Karras?
Every once in a while. I only eat one meal a day, like seriously. But isn't it funny how things are coming along where they're calling for us in this day and in this hour, and now they have the rapture, and they're saying that what they're saying, that tomorrow's the rapture, so we're on a 24-hour watch.
They actually believe that?
Yeah, these are some dates that they were throwing on out there.
What?
This is your evangelicals right here.
What?
So for those
What's
that
the
believe
UA?
that,
What's the UA saying?
those that believe that, I just want to let them know that they can visit questuniteafrica.org and generously provide a gift before they leave. Okay? It ain't gonna hurt you. You can't take that with you to heaven, right? So just give the gift.
Oh man, Karis, you know it's a scorched earth policy. They're not going to give nothing.
They want to hit us with nukes as they're going up to heaven. Is that what it is? Oh, okay, that's
as they're going up, they're going to drop something down.
All right, that's all I got. Cool.
We're gonna drop some manna down on y'all while we up in heaven. All right,
that's right, manna.
Final comments, Sister Chantel.
So their nukes are called manna. As they're going up, they're going to be dropping manna down. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, mercy. You know, I wanted to touch on what my brother from this side of the pond, D84, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I feel and I didn't see that, but I know the presenters that he's talking about, and there's others on what's it, GB News, which is on YouTube as well. They have this disdain. It's like, as we've woken up, I don't know if you guys have noticed, it's almost like they can't contain it anymore. It's like you're seeing their true self and their true feelings emerge. It's like for a long time they've kind of held it in, but it's almost like I can't do it anymore. I need to express myself. They have to reveal their true self, and we're just seeing the complete and total disdain that they have for our very being. You know?
Sister Chantel, that's exactly what I saw coming out of these presenters' mouths when they were speaking to the Guyanese president. You know, it's like what you just described there. There's almost like a resentfulness, and it's almost. Do you know what it reminds me of? It's almost like for years and years they've seen us as being secondary or inferior to them, and now they see us speaking with a little bit of confidence and a little bit of power and a little bit of bass in our voice, and there's this disdain, as if to say, "How dare you jump out of that space that we've had you in for all these years? How dare you speak to us in such a fashion?" That's the attitude I see from them when I see them speak.
Well, that's you know what you read, Yakoba, as well, Wisdom of Solomon 5. They show, you know, they look at the strangeness of this. Yeah. How dare you say anything to us? And it's like they're shook as well. Like, oh my gosh, they're waking up. They understand where this is. And the thing is, when they keep saying things like, "You can't judge us. We're not like our ancestors." I was saying to my mum, no, they're not like their ancestors. They're really not. They're actually worse. You hear me, Gentiles? You're actually worse. Let me say how I know that you're worse. You are worse than your ancestors because your ancestors, they did what they did, but you have the benefit of looking back to see what they did. Now, instead of you trying to change and break, even if you had just left us alone, even if you had just ignored us and left us alone and let us do our thing, you couldn't even do that. But the fact of the matter is, in order for you to basically, it's like when somebody is trying to tell a lie, before they tell a lie, they have to be well versed in the truth. These people have done so much wickedness, right? They are worse than their ancestors because they do what their ancestors do, but they do it covertly. They come out with so much legislation, so much laws and everything to be able to pretty up the filth that their ancestors were doing openly. They are trying to do it covertly, to keep it on, you know, to hide and to do whatever they want to do. So in my eye, that just makes you worse than them. You're not sorry. You don't care. When they start talking about, oh, we need to join BRICS, all of these that are coming, these Johnny come latelys, you're only saying that because say that Britain that Africa just said, yeah, we don't want you, Britain, we're cutting you off. You know what? Let me just say this. Don't bother pay us reparations because I don't want your funny money. Don't pay us reparations. What you need to do, right, is give us back our stuff. And then after you've given us back our stuff, you see how the rest of the world is paying, like, I don't know, maybe $200 per kilogram for the uranium. Oh, no. With you, we're going to do a separate deal. We're going to do a special one just for you. You're going to pay us 300 gold coins. Go and find those gold that you've got in your vaults and melt that stuff down and pay us with that. Everybody else can pay whatever other way that they're paying, but you can pay with gold. That's the reparations. You don't want to pay? You're going to pay in another way. We will leave you high and dry. And like I said the last time I was on, they don't even know how to use the uranium properly. That's the problem. They're terrified that when we go back, we're going to be doing things. We are going to be doing things that not even what they put in Wakanda can do. That's what they're terrified of. And they're terrified that we're going to cut them off. Yes, we're going to cut you off because the Bible says you will be cut off. I'm going to stop now.
All right. Thank you, Sister Chantel. Sister Betty, final comment?
Yes, Jacoba. I want to say this right here, family. And I'm sitting in the den, but I'm laughing to myself. I'm laughing because I'm saying, do y'all know how much billions of dollars that this country and Europe has given that little strip of dirt, those people who are not a people, but are burning up with the highest cancer rate in the world, trying to hold on to that piece of dirt that is not Jerusalem, that is not the land, that is not Israel. Do you know that the Christians, they hate us woke people, us people that are walking in the prophecy? They hate us more than they hate anything, more than they hated our ancestors. They hate us worse because of who we are, that we know who we are. We have a true identity. We actually have a home. We're like a homeless person or a lost child that their parents finally found them, and they're so happy that they finally found their parents. That's how we feel when we think about the continent. We're so happy that we finally found our home. We finally found our parents. We were lost so long. Hallelujah. We found our home. These Christian, and then that idea, that picture that they painted for hundreds and hundreds of years of that white antichrist with the brown hair and the blue eyes. They're so terrified to lose that image of that antichrist, that demon who they worship. Still, they're terrified of us. You talking about somebody in a nightmare. You talking about some people that going to be killing themselves. Excuse me, family. That's going to be committing suicide or overdoses when they really, really realize that we are who we say we are. And Yacoba, all your brother tell you videos, previous videos of all these things that are transpiring now, they're gold. Because they're coming. I mean, it's true. Everybody that came against you, the urban apologists, Berean them, and how they drug y'all through the mud and hung y'all on a tree and not a cross. These people are now gotta look back and say, man, do you know them brothers was telling the truth? Your
they
video
ain't gonna never admit it. They're gonna go down with their lies.
But it's true. If you go back and look at them, you can go down with it. But those teachings, when you were so adamant and 10 toes down, that's not our land. There's nothing growing there. There's no milk and honey there. You was 10 toes down long time ago before anybody even came around. So now, look at here. All right, family. I'll land there.
Thank you, Sister Betty. Y'all heard that, urban apologists. Y'all need to repent. Brother Eric, final comment.
Shalom, Israel. Shabbat shalom. I just want to say, may the Most High bless all Israel with peace and prosperity. Brother Yakoba, bear with me for a moment. I promise I won't be too long. But
okay, you're on the clock.
Yes. You are essential to our awakening. Brother Karis, you are essential to our awakening and our exodus, our deliverance. Stay encouraged. Stay encouraged. Forget the naysayers, the deniers, and the liars. We've been past trying to prove who we are. If they can't see it, the hell with them. Now, in terms of our the Most High judging, he's not just judging Egypt. He's judging the whole world. You can clearly see what's going on.
Yeah.
He's putting a smack down on, and he's just getting started. And you know how you know is really happening? When the United Snakes of America start telling the truth about stuff, you know it's worse than it really is. Remember, they've been denying UFOs ain't real. UFOs ain't real. They'll still say the UFOs ain't real, but those UAPs, or them real? They're always trying to move the goalposts or change the narrative. They know they have to start telling the truth because they see what's coming, and they don't want the people to turn on them for all the lies they told. Israel, get your house in order. Calm your spirit. Calm your spirit. The word says, be anxious for nothing. Just sit back and let the Most High do his thing. That's it. Get your popcorn, get your soda pop, or whatever it is you like, you enjoy, and sit back and watch. My thing. Unity in the community. Stick together. Put away all your little differences and all that stuff that ain't got nothing to do with our salvation and our deliverance. And if you still have a problem when it's all over, let's get to the wilderness, and then we can talk about it then. We need to move furniture out the way. You need to build a dojo or whatever. We'll handle it then. But let's at least get there first and stop all the foolishness. And I gone.
All right. Thank you, Brother Eric. Final comments, D84.
Thank you, Yakoba. I just want to very briefly say, okay, I want to big up a few people in this country that have been part of my little journey very, very quickly. A brother called Sean, a brother called Bradley, and a brother called Marcus. We have a group chat. It's called the Most High Chat, and we share information about the scriptures. And we've been doing this ever since they had us in lockdown around the world from 2020 onwards. There's been many people who've been pivotal in planting seeds that have allowed people like myself to sort of wake up, smell the coffee. Unfortunately, there are many people who are still asleep. But one scripture that comes to mind, Brother Yakoba, if I can just bring it up very quickly, and this for me is so significant for the times. It's Baruch, and I'm sure obviously you'd be very much aware of this, a man of your standing, Yakoba. Baruch 2:30. Okay, I know a few of my scriptures. I didn't really know of this scripture until maybe around a year or so ago. But when I read this scripture, I said, yes, this is what is happening. This is what we're seeing even in this present times, Brother Yakoba. It says, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves. This is what is happening, Brother Yakoba. Because of the separation, because of everything that's happened, people are asking questions, people are having conversations, people are sharing information, Brother Yakoba. And slowly but surely, these pieces are coming together and everything is starting to make sense. We're starting to have clarity for those who have an interest, for those who are asking the questions. Because some people are very ignorant, some people are very dismissive, some people sadly don't really care. They're too full of the world. However, there are other people saying, do you know what? Enough is enough. Something's not right. I don't know what the answer is, but something's not right. They're looking for answers. And when they start to see some of these things, Brother Yakoba, it starts to resonate with their spirit. It resonates with their soul. And it starts to make sense. And one thing you'll be aware of, Brother Yakoba, because you live on the other side of the pond, I saw this on my Instagram maybe around a few weeks ago when it first happened. But that fight that took place with the rednecks and the and the black people at the boat place. And you had the black guy swimming from the boat, jumping in the river acting like one of the Avengers. Like it was almost like, I believe one of the guys on the harbour, on the docks, he was being attacked unjustly by a group of Caucasians. The way how people came from all directions to come and defend this man and help this man, that for me is a microcosm of what's happening on a wider scale, because people know who the what is the word I'm looking for, the offenders, you could say. We're starting to see who the offenders really are. And that sort of disliking that they've had towards us for a very long period of time, where they've been able to mistreat us for a very long period of time, people are just not having it anymore, brother Yakoba. They are not having it anymore.
No,
Now,
they're
I don't
not.
go, no, and I'm not a man, I'm a man of peace. I'm a man of peace, but I also believe in fairness, and I also believe in self-defense. And there comes a time, and I must say this, Yakoba, because my mum brought me up, okay? My mum was born in Trinidad. And there's a saying in the West Indies that we have in these Caribbean islands. I'm sure you may have it in America as well. And the saying is this: who can't, my mum would say this to me when I was naughty: if you can't hear, then you're bound to feel. In other words, if I've told you once and I've told you twice and you're still doing bad things, I'm going to have to give you some discipline in a physical fashion. And for some people, sadly, Yakoba, this seems to be the only way they will understand. Because they wish they won't understand through diplomacy. They won't understand with just words alone.
So,
Sometimes
brother D84, can you land your plane?
Yes, yeah. Say that again. Sorry. Could you say that again? Sorry.
Can you land your plane? I got.
Yeah, I'm gonna land my plane.
Okay.
People are waking up, brother Yakoba. What we're seeing right now, people are waking up because it's in the land of our captivities. We are starting to remember ourselves.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Thank you, brother D84. Fast Nickel, final comment.
Shabbat Shalom. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So luckily for me, I took some notes before I had to initially drop off. So I want to say that what D84 said earlier, where about a lack of remorse, the reason there's a lack of remorse is because they fail to lack respect for us, and because they feel entitled, they will never, until they remove that entitlement or have respect, they won't have remorse. So that's the first thing. Your first video, to me, that addressed the elephant in the room, which is reparations. He indicated that the current people may not be at fault, but that doesn't excuse them or their forefathers. And so when he mentioned to me, that there won't be an exploitation of resources, to me, that was the warning shot, because that tells me war is coming, because we know that once the resources dry up or they can't get it on the steady that they're used to, they will have nothing left to do but go to war. So to me, if that means going to war, I believe that America has to be taken down so that America cannot intervene in that war between Europe and Africa. So I agree also with Brother Mike, where he talks about they don't play the videos. And the reason that they can't play it in the US is because we know that our people are the ones that drive the trends. And the same way they have the saying that when America sneezes, the world catches a cold. If African Americans, if we come to the realization and we wake up to leave, now the Caribbean, South America, all of these countries are going to leave too. They're not going to be the one to make the first move. We're going to have to be the ones to make the first moves. And also what Second Exodus, she kind of stole my thunder about that, what I was just saying about once we leave, everyone else will leave. So that's all I'll say, and Shabbat Shalom.
All right. Thank you, Fast Nickel. Don P, final comment.
Well, all I got to say is it won't be long, and we'll be out of here. Just everything that's going on, man, is just fulfilling prophecy. I'm loving the boldness, and I believe that the Most High is protective hand is going to be there, because this is His program. At the end of the day, this is His program I'm gonna keep it short and land my plane there.
All right. Thank you, Don P. Khalees, your final comment.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Yeah, I just want to say it's really interesting because from what I've seen when I'm watching news and media, is they are passive aggressive, but they're not trying to make it completely obvious because they don't want to actually bring more attention to the problem in terms of their positioning and their accountability. But at the same time, if you're awake, you can see through it like literally have magnifying glasses on it. So it's very clever how they're doing this passive aggressive behavior thing, but that's their style, isn't it, from a long time. But I just want to leave on something positive that I was woke in the middle of the night with on the 14th of September, which is a poem. I know I normally share a song, but it's a short poem. And it says, "Time to rise again. I know you are feeling sadness and pain. Do you know it is temporary? You will rise again. I know there has been loss all around. Do you believe you will rise again? I see your frequent tears and valid fears. Do you have faith? You will rise again. Close your eyes. Remember that sunshine on your face. Dry bones, you will rise again. You are somebody who was born to shine. In the darkest times, you shine brightest. I assure you, you will rise again. Through turbulent years of unrest, your identity became a mess. I know you're not feeling your best, but you are still blessed. You will rise again. Embrace this time of transition, healing, and restoration as you regather and strengthen. Your season is changing. You will rise again. Keep your eyes on me. I, Yah, hold the key to victory. Stand up. Now is your time to rise again. Shout out a praise. Let your powerful voice be heard. All the nations will know and see your light glow. I am that I am kept his promise. So shine bright, love right. You are going to higher heights. It is your time to rise again, written by Kalisha Robinson. And I just want to say to everybody out there that stand firm, do not be shaken, because everything that can be shaken is and will be shaken. But we will rise in unity, in love, and we will get everything that the Most High promised. So I just want to say thank you also for those that prayed for me with this battle of the mind, this functional neurological disorder, because as you can see, the Most High is still using me even in this battle with my mind and my body. So just keep me in your prayers. And shalom, Shabbat shalom. Thank you for the opportunity, Brother Yokoba, and
Thank you for
blessings to
coming
you
on,
all.
Khaleesha. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Misfit Fee, this is final comments. I know it's your first comment, but it'll be final comments. Anything you want to say?
Yes, shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, Brother Yakoba, Brother Karis. Thank you. I just basically want to say two things, and I'll keep it short and sweet. I don't know if you also saw, I forget which, I think it's either Gabon, the one, whoever it is that's been trying to get that French ambassador out, that they finally got him out. So that is definitely a sign. And they not only did they get him out, they also kicked out all of the European ambassadors and the American ones. So there's that. And then secondly, I basically got confirmation too this week that we about to be up out of here. I had a dream that I was at my old church, and ironically, the church is called Zion Baptist, and this is like an old school, like they basically are still back in 1865. They don't do anything modern, and it's a black church. It's in Denver, and in the dream, America was being attacked, but oddly enough, everybody in the church, and it's a black church, by the way, it's a historically black church, oldest black church west of the Mississippi. they were confused as to what was going on. And I was the one that was telling them, I'm like, well, we're being protected. We're about to get us out of here. We need to leave. And we were being shown the way to be up out of here as you know, the country was being attacked. And that's not the first dream that's been had in my household. My sister also had a dream that we were basically leaving, and as we were leaving, America was being attacked. So that's the confirmation that I got.
So when do you think we leaving? What you got from the dream? Any time frames?
No, I don't want to put a time frame on it, but the feeling in my bones, in my spirit, literally is sometime soon.
That's how I feel too. It's
Yeah,
soon. That's what I feel.
it's
So,
very soon with everything happening. So
okay.
that's
All right. Thank you, Miss Fitfee.
No problem. You guys have a good one.
All right. Brother Karras, final comment.
Well, Brother Yakoba, again, thank you for having us on. Definitely like to thank you for coming on and spending time with us in the morning. I know that you're just as busy as as anybody else.
That was fun. I enjoyed it.
But hasn't this week just been real busy?
Yeah.
What did we say? We said, look, who knows what Friday's gonna look like? And look at all the stuff that happened on Friday. You know, the thing is, I look at a couple things when I say, yeah, we're going back soon. Oh, I know we're going back soon. I don't want to put dates and, you know, speculate and do everything else because there's a lot of things that actually have to happen. We're going to go back, but people don't understand there's catalyst that happen. Because why? We're going to be weeping on the way on out of here. We're going to weep because why? There's going to be things that are going to happen.
Yeah.
You don't get to 33 trillion in debt. That messes up the global economy. There's a thing about white folks and their money. They don't like to lose money, especially if you're a European.
Why? Because it's in God we trust. That's their God, right?
Mm-hmm. And especially if you're on the continent of Europe.
Yep.
So think about what's happening. Think about why they have to go into Niger. It's not that they would want to have a diplomatic solution. The problem is you done seen how these African nations are looking at them. You're seeing how our people are looking at them. Because why? They're telling you the sentiment of what those negotiations are looking like behind closed doors. Oh, we are going to expose everything that you are doing. We're going to expose this and that. And they're just like, okay, whatever. Go ahead and do it. Does this not scare you? Does this not frighten you? No, we're not frightened. You know, because they are in a bind. Don't get it twisted. They are in a bind. And we started to see those fissures this week with Armenia and Azerbaijan. We're starting to see fissures because the world is now starting to say, oh, it's almost time to get ready to rumble in that Michael Buffer voice. Let's get ready. You know, people are coming on the ringside, right?
Yep.
And so, you know,
and everybody fighting in the ring.
And it's not Royal Rumble, it's the World Rumble.
Yeah.
You know, Hector Macho Camacho is going to be slamming Randy Savage in the head with a chair. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah.
Got them chair memes.
I did that on purpose. Now, you know. But I'm not gonna lie though. I loved how D84 broke down the Alabama brawl. You know, from a British perspective, that was hilarious. You know, the rednecks there. I'm sorry, but shout out to my British folks that see. You know, we go through the struggle worldwide, but it's heartening to see that as a people worldwide, we're coming together like never before, So. You know, shout out to Brother Fast Nickel. We have some conversations, Brother Mike and I, with Quest Unite Africa. We're constantly seeing how we can provide solutions that the Most High has given us, because we're not just working within ourselves. We're working with other organizations. These other organizations, they're looking. They know what time it is. So these are critical moments, family. These are critical moments. And I don't say things like, "Hey, give to give." No, look, I ask, if the Most High's putting it on your heart, then give. If He's not, hey, then it's okay. Because guess what? Ain't nothing stopping this train. But except I may have to depart early though, Brother Yakoba. I got a rapture bus to catch tomorrow, so
You waiting on that rapture bus?
oh,
You
I'm
gonna be
waiting. I'm waiting. I just got a trash bag full of clothes, and I'm out.
You ain't gonna need no clothes. You're gonna be raptured.
I put a sign on the dog said "Free to a good home." I'm bouncing.
You gotta sell your house and everything. Huh?
Man, the vehicle's got the keys all up in there. Got that bumper sticker. And if in the event of a rapture, the vehicle's yours.
The fish must be fed at 3 p.m. every day.
Oh my goodness. Let me stop because we could go all night with that. I'm sorry. Woo!
But say, Brother Karras, isn't it interesting though? All of the stuff is lining up. You can see it in the Bible. You can see it on the continent. But a lot of people say the Middle East is our land. But all the prophecies happening on the continent, happening in Africa, fulfilling every single prophecy.
Man, I got videos. I think I showed you some of the videos when I was on out there. Sticking my water in that dirty behind river. Stop. You can kick rocks in the Middle East. I've been there, done that. Israel ain't our land.
Yeah.
Look, I went there and I went to Tanzania. I'm like, oh, this is definitely our land. Oh, no, this is it. This is it. They don't lie. These folks they don't lie to y'all. Because why? Because you're literally living in the cage.
Look, they didn't try to sell us that the little outhouse is our house, where the little mansion. Oh no, don't worry about the mansion over there. That ain't your house.
Yeah, exactly. Going over to that dusty strip.
Yeah,
we ain't got hardly no type of vegetation, and they talk about that's your land. Yeah, they want you to believe that lie. Because why? Because they don't tell you that on the planes going down in the sub-Saharan, you see them on there. You see them going to the Yahudim that's there. You see them going to study.
Yep. And then they never want to tell you that the Ish people wanted to get Kenya and Uganda territory.
And Uganda, yes, Kenya and Uganda. Yep. And then you see some videos on YouTube, and it's like Uganda is what they call the Garden of Eden. And I'm like, I believe it.
Yep.
Man, did you see that Netflix show with the apes? It was like Ape Kingdom or something like that.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, you got to watch it. And you got to see that.
But I've seen some videos, man. Uganda, all of that area beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. The temperature is just right. It's beautiful. But they don't want to tell you that because they just want to say, oh, it's just a garbage dump, and we put their garbage there. Well, why? Because they don't want to tell you what's on out there. Because the moment that you see what's on out there, and let me tell you, it's white folks on out there. You want to be truthful?
Yep.
There's white folks on out there. They're telling you to lie to sit your behind down.
Yep.
So thank you, Brother Yakoba. I'm not gonna rant and rave, but definitely keep you in prayer because it's nice to see this, but we have to pray for each other and encourage each other.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Absolutely. Hallelujah.
All right, thank you, Brother Karras. All right, fam. A lot of interesting things going on. Definitely we at the end of the game, in my opinion. Something major gonna happen. I mean, just all of the pieces falling into place. I've been telling y'all that. Those who have eyes to see get it. Those who don't, gonna burn up with the rest of this place. And I want to thank all of y'all. I really appreciate those who support this ministry and love this ministry. I thank for all your gifts and your support. I even for the likes and the shares. And if you haven't liked, go ahead and like. Because some of you y'all really love this ministry, and we love y'all. me and Minister Tell love y'all very much. And we look forward to meeting you all, and we can eat and break bread, face to face. I think it's going to be soon. Like I say, that's relative. But things changing. You can see that they're changing. You can see Africa's not responding the way they used to. And the raccoons are being exposed and being overthrown, but hashtag ain't no 400-year prophecy, right? A lot of people are going to tell you, a lot of things because they have an agenda, right? A lot of people have an agenda, and their agenda not necessarily a God agenda, and you got to be discerning in these last days. You really do. And before I close out, so I don't forget. Let's see here. Make sure you go get your products over here. Giving for all. Get your mugs, your shirts if you haven't. Because soon as we go on the Exodus and we out of here and traveling to the continent, y'all gonna need your outfits. You're gonna need your cup. You're gonna need your shirts and your hoodies. So if you haven't gotten it, go ahead and get it. And we really do love y'all and appreciate y'all. And that's how we should do. And also intercede for one another and pray for one another. And also make sure that, as you see these times get worse, right, that we draw closer and we support one another and we just love on one another, right? And love is an action, not a feeling. Don't be like some of these people out here, that love you in word and not in action. So if you want to support this ministry, you can by becoming a patron. You can give by Cash App. You can share and like this video. And see y'all in the wilderness. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending. Love you with the love of Messiah. And please support the Dry Bones Project.